tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz
all
begin!
Different kinds out and about, so.
Hey there, AfterBuzz fans. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now that is a good way to start. Hey, AfterBuzz fans, welcome to another edition of The Voice Of. Thank you guys so much for joining us. In the studio today, we have a very, very special guest, Todd Haberkorn.
Hello, only a year in the making.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
And there were times, I mean, I'd get an email and I'd get excited, and then I'd say yes, and then like a puppy, I'd realize immediately that I did something wrong. Because puppies run over and they eat this thing over here, and then they're like, oh wait, that was mom's favorite flowers or something. And so that's what I totally did with the emails, because I'd say yes, then I'd look at my schedule and realize I can't do that at all. And repeat that for 365 days.
You are a very busy man. I was starting to believe you weren't actually real.
Yeah, I know. What was that movie, Transcendence, where Johnny Depp got sucked into the computer?
Your consciousness just existed in the internet.
Yeah. That would be cool. I want to do that.
From what I hear about that movie, not as much.
Yeah, well, if it's not created by Christopher Nolan, maybe.
There you go.
But, yeah. But thank you for having me.
No, again, our pleasure. It's, again, been a year in the making.
Yeah.
And it's actually very nice to have you back, because you were actually our very first interview for this series, The Voice Of.
Right on.
It was still Spotlight on then, so.
Okay, cool.
It was because of that interview that we have The Voice Of now.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
I like that mic, and I approve. Very nice.
I know. I like the design. It's pretty great.
Choice.
Well, for those of you listening, I'm your host, Megan Salinas, and we are going to be taking a look at the hashtag The Voice Of on Twitter. If you guys want to submit questions, we know you guys are also in the live chat, so we'll try to keep an eye on that. It's a little bit harder to do that from my phone, but I'll keep an eye on it. So if you guys have any questions for our wonderful guest, be sure to let us know. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to AfterBuzz TV on iTunes, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. And again, we'll be keeping an eye out for your questions.
Yeah, I'm getting some right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anything fun?
Well, we'll find out.
I can't see from your Twitter feed.
Okay, let's see. So Vince Gagliardi, he says, are you ever stunned or in awe by the popularity of Star Trek Continues? The show and your performances have been amazing. Well, thank you, Vince, if you're watching. Am I stunned by it? Well, that's the thing is so Vic created this. Star Trek Continues is his baby, and it's a continuation of the original 5-year mission of Star Trek, because it was canceled after season 3. And so there's 2 more years. So Vic is a huge Trek fan. So when he asked me to come aboard and be a part of it, I already knew, before even seeing a frame, that it was going to be something big, only because he loves it so much, and I knew, his attention to detail and such was going to be so on it, that I was like, I gotta be involved in this. So I'm stunned that we're still doing it, but as far as people liking it, not in an arrogant way at all, but only because he won't let it not be something stellar. And so getting to be a part of it is just a fun bonus, and playing Spock is a great challenge. I kind of have to keep my hair around Spock length at all times, which is frustrating, but it's great. It's awesome.
That's good. And actually, both of you were actually recently featured in a Star Trek documentary, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know what? It's hard to remember those things, because when we're filming, I'm on set at Pacific Standard Time, 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, Lord.
Getting into makeup, and I'm there all day, and then it takes an hour to get out of makeup. And I remember, now that you said that, these guys came, the crew came, and they were waiting. They were so great. They were getting footage and stuff. They're waiting all day. And at 11 o'clock at night or something like that, I'm zombie moding myself to the chair to get interviewed. But they did a great job. I mean, you can see they really love Trek, and we're so glad that they came and were a part of it. But yeah, it was great fun, and I wish I knew the hashtag or the thing to get it out, but it's out there. Star Trek Continues documentary, I guess you'd look up. But yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Were you a big Star Trek fan growing up?
You know, it's always been in my world. Sci-fi has always been around, whether it's obviously Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that. And I got lost in those worlds. And I would even like something like E.T. as another sci-fi thing. Because it was kind of just me when I was a kid. And so I had to have my rich imagination-y stuff came from there, you know? And so it was that's where I got my fill and saw like an alien befriend Elliot or a lightsaber or warp speed capabilities and such. I'm not as big of a fan of it or know it as much as Vic does. I mean, he could quote episodes like nobody's business, but I do know a lot of it, so it's fun to get ready for an episode and kind of watch other episodes and get into the mode.
Yeah, it must be fun working with somebody who knows it really inside and out.
Yeah, it's it's astonishing. Like we'll walk on the sets and I remember this. We were walking on the set, and there was like this thing on the wall over here, like a little set piece thing. And he stops and he looks at it, and he's like, he goes up to it, and goes back, and he goes, "It's 3 millimeters off." And they moved it. They had to move it. And that's weird.
That's attention to detail.
Yeah, he did it, so he knows it. I'm just gonna show up and hopefully do a good job. So.
Well, I'm glad that people are enjoying it so far. It sounds like it's got some good momentum going.
You know, we just premiered our 4th episode at Phoenix Comic-Con, and the guest star for that episode is Colin Baker, who is the 6th Doctor from Doctor Who, and he was great. He was a real gentleman, real pro to work with, and there are great bloopers that involve him that are online too, so be sure to check that out. Yeah.
Sounds like fun. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, so I will definitely check that out.
He was so great. They actually did a Doctor Who blooper on set that he didn't know about, and you'll have to see. You have to see how he reacts to it.
Oh, I can't wait. So you mentioned that growing up you watched, you were a big fan of sci-fi, and when you were interviewing with Dave, you mentioned that you would watch cartoons a lot, and that's kind of how you would pick up voices, and that you've been performing since you were 10. Was there ever a moment where you knew for sure that was what you wanted to do and make that your career?
When I was 10.
Really?
So, when I did my first show, I realized that I just couldn't get enough. Like even though the rehearsals they're long. I mean, these rehearsals are at the end of a day, and you go until 10 o'clock at night, and it's on top of your normal life. I think that's when I knew that it was a passion, because even when you're so tired, you still are ready for it, and you still want to do it. It's a lot different feeling than when I was bagging groceries at 16. When I was bagging groceries at 16, after 30 minutes, I was like, wow, I know for a fact I don't want to do this for a living. But when I was doing theater, I wanted it more and more and more, and it didn't matter how long the rehearsals were, because I don't know if you're horribly familiar with theater, but when you have your final week, your tech week, I mean, you're doing 10 out of 12 days, 10-hour days as you're getting ready, and you're bone tired, and you're trying to remember all your lines and hitting your cues and stuff, but afterwards you need like a couple days off, but you're ready to do it again if it's for me, as a passion. So I have some of the fondest memories come from just the work that I've been able to do and the people that I've met in the industry. So it's totally, and I did that. I've been doing it for ever since. Training for it and going to college for it, and it's led into filmmaking and voiceover, of course, and everything. So it's been rad.
Now, mentioning voiceovers, obviously we're here for the voice of. One thing that's near and dear to my childhood is actually the new Sailor Moon that's coming out.
Sailor Moon, yeah.
And you're playing a Jedi in the old Viz dub, and in the new series Sailor Moon Crystal.
Yeah. It was Crystal looks a lot better. But it's fun to terrorize these girls every chance I get.
I'm going to say, you're picking on girls every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, how can you not have fun? And I have beautiful blonde hair. But no, it was cool to be a part of such an iconic show. I didn't watch it in its original run and such, but it's so so iconic that everyone knows about it whether they've watched it or not. And so to join that crew and to be a part of that was really fun. And all the sailors sound awesome in the show. They're really, really good.
No, all around, it's a really stellar cast that they brought on.
Yeah. And it's great to work with all those guys, and we see each other on the con scene, and the fans have been awesome with it, and they bring up stuff to sign that's Sailor Moon related. But for me, I couldn't talk about it for so long that I forget that I did it sometimes. And so when people are like, "Oh, you were also Jadeite and da-da-da," I was like, "Oh, yes, of course, Iconic Show, got it, yes, I'm right there with you."
That thing that I did for a couple hours, that one time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's really cool.
I did want to ask, just because it is so iconic, it's also really dated, the 90s one, and most of the stuff that you work on is very recent because they're recent exports from Japan that they want to get out right away. So it's got to be kind of weird going back to something that's a little bit more stilted and a little bit more, like I said, kind of dated.
Misogynistic. Yeah. There's that one episode in the gym where I'm trying to drain their energy. I'm like, don't you guys want to look good and lose weight?
That was pretty bad, yeah.
But they, hey, that's, you listen to some old radio dramas from like the 30s and 40s, and there's some stuff in there that totally wouldn't fly today. But I guess that's just the times that they.
That's true. It's a product of its time.
Yeah, they're gonna look at us in 100 years and go, "You had your dogs on leashes? They weren't just allowed to walk around and hang out with you." So I don't. We'll see what happens.
I do worry about how the future looks back at this particular period in time based on our media.
What is a selfie? Like, they're gonna wonder all those things. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm a little bit more concerned about like Lady Gaga videos.
Oh yeah. That's a trip. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun to think about. So another thing that you also mentioned the last time you were here, that you're always kind of looking to add tools to your wheelhouse. What do you kind of actively do to kind of hone your craft?
For me, I'm literally in the booth every day, in some form or fashion, whether it's doing an audiobook or an anime or a video game or a cartoon or engineering a session. I'm directing a show right now, The Disappearance of Nagado Yuki-chan, which is another follow-up to the Haruhi Suzumiya. Yeah, Haruhi Suzumiya. So we're working on that right now. So it's a lot of attack on the skills from a different angle, for directing. I haven't stepped in the full-time directing saddle since D.Gray-man.
That's been a bit.
It's been a while, yeah. So coming back and getting to work with a stellar cast like Crispin Freeman and Michelle Ruff and Bridget Hoffman and Wendy Lee and all those guys, Johnny Bosch, they're really, really skilled guys and women that come and do this show. So be able to see where they were, in 2009 with all that, they were great then, but to see how much better they've gotten just in doing it longer has been really cool. Working on that, as far as just stuff that kind of try to diversify with. I'm working on a book that'll be out in my birthday weekend. It'll be
really
out and about and available on the con scene. My first book.
What's the book about?
And you'll see.
It's a surprise?
You'll see, yeah. And then there'll be another one scheduled for next year. I'm supposed to be working on my next album. My mix guy is kind of getting on me about that, but there's got to be time. So working on all that fun stuff, and I still love filmmaking. It's just finding the time to do it. I have pages of ideas that I want to do. It's just, again, I need that 36-hour day.
Yeah, no. Once that comes out, it's going to make life so much easier.
Oh yeah. It's going to be great. And actually, you know what? Let's see who's out here.
Anybody else in the Twitter sphere?
Let's see. I've got someone that says at Breeboo Bear 13. They say, why won't you come back to A-Con? Why won't you come back to A-Con next year? I miss you. That's not my call. I'd love to come back to A-Con. They gotta ask me. Let's see. Are you excited for Anime Next? That's from at Full Metal Howl. I am excited for Anime Next. # Ask the Corn.
Oh, is that the new hashtag?
I guess so. And then they ask, are you aware what a shifa robe is?
I have no clue.
We don't know.
We do not know.
Let's see.
Maybe people in the live chat can illuminate us.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of... So at Cloudy Dreams, at both of us, be honest, do you ship Natsu and Lucy? No, Natsu and Plu. That's Plu doesn't get enough love. Do you have anybody? Anyone over there?
I'm good for right now. Although you mentioned D.Gray-man, and I imagine that there's not really a whole lot that you can say because they've announced that they're going to extend the manga. Yeah. But whether or not a reboot or an extension of the anime series, it's still kind of up in the air, even though fans would be glad to have it.
Yeah, that's the one show. There's 2 shows that I get asked about at every single convention. I've done 150 conventions. At every single convention, I am not exaggerating, I get asked about D.Gray-man and Sergeant Frog every single time. Those are both shows that didn't get to finish. With D.Gray-man, I even went to Aniplex and asked them straight up. I said, how do we work this show? The problem is that the rights have gone back to several different companies. But now that there's more manga coming for D.Gray-man, maybe that'll bring it all together. I don't know. But if it does, I'd love to come back and finish. I just want to finish, what happens. So.
That was going to be my next question. If it were to continue, what would you want to see from Alan?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just, everyone's telling me about all this cool stuff that happens that we didn't get to.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I know that in the manga, Tim Campy, it gets this big, like a huge hog. It gets really big. I want to see that, and then I would love to do more. I want to do more of all the shows. There are 2 shows that I would not like to do more of, but everything else I would love to do more
Most everything.
Of. Yeah, most everything.
More of a fun question. A lot of your characters are really larger than life and have a lot of really cool abilities. If you could have any of the superpowers that any of your characters have, which would you go with?
Let's see. Well, I mean, the fun one would be Natsu. Being a fire wizard would be a lot of fun.
That would be pretty sweet.
I would also maybe like to do, in Hitalia, when they turn into the Neko Talia, the cat.
Oh, they just turn into little kitties.
That would be cool, turning into a cat. It'd be kind of fun. Because then you can sleep all day and nobody gets mad at you.
Yeah, no, that's kind of expected, right?
Yeah, and you can scratch on furniture and everyone's like, oh, they're just being a cat. If I went on there and I scratched on your furniture right now, you'd be kind of mad at me.
We'd be a little upset, but...
But if I were a cat, you'd be like, oh, that's just a cat doing their thing.
Be like, that's just Todd. Yeah. That's just what he does.
That's the thing about babies. Babies can get away with pretty much anything. If I went into a restaurant and filled a diaper like a baby does, they'd be like, dude, what's your problem? But a baby's like, oh, he's just a baby. That's what he does.
Yep. It's a mild inconvenience, but nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah, babies get everything. They get pushed around in a stroller.
Yeah.
And here I am using my legs like a sucker.
Exactly.
So.
Not even they would even have to we don't even get Segways. It's not fun. It's not fair.
I've been on a Segway one time in a museum.
Really?
They had a little Segway path that you could go on. They're pretty fun.
I feel like I would just wipe out if I tried.
It's pretty cool. It's you have to just trust it. You just lean a little bit and then it goes. It knows you're ready to ride.
I don't know. It's a little precarious for me.
Yeah, no. Yeah. If you take the governor off and you're doing that Segway at 100, $1.15, it's pretty fast.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why it's taken so long to get you back here in studio is because you've been insanely busy with a number of projects, one of which caught my eye. You were in a ghost story recently, a really fun movie, Last Month's Rent.
Yeah.
But this is kind of like an atypical ghost story.
You know what? That is so awesome. Brian O'Neill, dude. Man, I gotta give a shout out to Brian because that movie was hard for him to do. Brian, here it is, man. We're talking about it. He shot that movie in his home for 9 months, every night for 9 months, and his wife was so patient with it. One of the cats died.
Oh, no.
But that was afterwards. I don't think it was a direct cause of this movie. But that movie was, for Brian, he and I go way back. And, man, I'll help him do any movie that he makes. And when he asked me to do that, I came down and I would shoot for a little bit here, a little bit there. And the only thing he told me about that character is, just make him weird. And I was like, how weird do you want it? I'll go weird. And he goes, because I don't think he realized how... because I'll do it.
You can't just tell an actor, just be weird.
Yeah, and so I found these little weird things to do, and I didn't know what he was going to use, because I was just doing something different every single take. And so then when I see the finished product, I'm like, well, that's weird. That is weird. And so Thanks for asking about that. That's going to make him super happy that he got mentioned. So
I believe the entire film is up on YouTube right now, right?
Yeah. He's from Austin. He does. We work together a lot on every month actually on another project. But he's been shooting for a long time, and it's always insane to get together and shoot something with him. So we'll see what happens next. I think he's writing something else, but he actually won. Oh, he's going to be so mad I said. So he actually won. There was this film festival, and I think he won Best Worst Movie of the film festival. But that was the goal. Like, you want to make the worst movie. And so he made this really. I like it. I think it's funny. But he made this like really bad James Bond parody movie, and it won. So there we go.
Fantastic. Well, if that was the goal, then there you go.
Yeah. It's harder to make a really bad movie. So he did it.
An intentionally really bad movie?
But I liked it. But he did. He was successful. He won. So.
Well, fantastic. So people should definitely go to YouTube to check out last month's
There's a lot of stuff on there, yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm a big horror movie fan and ghost stories and mysteries. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, no, horror stories are a lot of. There's that new game coming out. You know, that one for the iPhone, the augmented reality game.
Oh, one of the Oculus Rift ones?
No, it's like, so basically you play it with the camera on your phone, and as you move around, your place is the setting for the game, and like there's like demon eyes poking up, but you'll see it through the screen on your, in your house. I think it's on Indiegogo right now.
They did something very similar for the new Insidious movie that just came out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they've got a little thing for like the Google Cardboard, the Google Fiber, I believe it is.
Right on, okay.
Yep.
Because Insidious isn't scary enough.
No, they want you to have it right there in your face.
Yeah. Right on. Ugh, nothing to.
It actually wasn't too bad. Yeah. I actually got to do it not too long ago. It wasn't too bad.
Okay, all right. Are you a fan of those movies?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's too scary. I saw the trailer. I'm out. The minute I saw it, I was nope.
Not a big horror movie fan?
It's not that. It's that I have an active imagination. And also when I was a kid, my mom would scare me. So what she would do is she'd be like, so it's actually kind of set up like this is the hallway. And so we're sitting there watching something, and she'd be like, oh, I'm going to go get something in the other room real fast. And I'm talking like I'm 9 years old. So she goes in the hallway. It's pitch black in the hallway. She doesn't come back for a while. And I'm like, Mom, what's going on back there? Nothing. It's completely black back there. This is, at the time when we were kids, I was a kid, this is like a one-bedroom apartment, so there's nowhere to go. And so then all of a sudden I hear, I'm freaking out. And then she goes, it's just me, son. I'm kidding. And I'm like, that's not a joke. I don't like that. But she would do that a lot. And then that's why I don't like, when I watch horror movies, the first thing I think of is the dark hallway. I look at the hallways and I'm like, it's dark. Great.
Oh, yeah, no, these movies would not be for you then. Nothing but dark hallways.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
No,
my horror movie, if they made a horror movie based on my life, it would be 5 minutes long, because I see a dark hallway, and always in the movies, they're like, oh, there's something back there. I'm like, I'm out. And I'm in the car, and I'm going to Ralph.
Shortest horror movie ever.
Very short, yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit was most audition processes for you guys as voice actors.
Yeah.
It's very much they put you on the spot. You have to think really quickly on your feet. And I just wanted to know knowing that you're really not going to know what you get until you get there, how do you go into kind of mentally prep for that?
Well, there's a lot of different auditions that happen. So some of them are that where you don't know what's going on until you get there, and you get a couple minutes beforehand. Some you get the script several days before, and some they just call you and give you the role. That's always fun. That's what happened with Free, actually. But getting prepped for something like that, I think if we're talking anime specific, there are archetypes. All these characters fall into archetypes. So the thing about it is like, at this point, I mean, I know what the archetypes are, and I know, like, that's the best friend, that's the guy that's afraid of all the girls, that's the guy, that's the bad guy. You just kind of know, and you especially with this, like, working a lot with Funimation, for example. We've been together a long time, about 10 years, and so we all know what each other can do. So really, that's what's kind of cool about it, is that they're going to kind of tailor what you're auditioning for to you if they ask you, because at this point, I mean, like I said, if we've worked on hundreds of shows together, and we just know, like, when I look at a show, I know who Caitlin Glass is going to play. You know, I know who Jerry Jewell's going to be. I know who Tatum's going to be, or McFarland, and so, or Sabat. You know, so when you have those guys, the battle axes of Funimation, you know what they're going to do. So it just depends on the project. But a lot of it also is like, you know, the more experience that you've had, I feel like the easier it is to kind of call up a couple of the ingredients that you can use, and hopefully that you're hitting the right mark. Sometimes you need a really good director too, you know, or all the time you do.
Well, speaking of directors, I know that a lot of times you guys have to record on your own and then kind of send in your stuff remotely. You know, thank goodness for technology. Yeah. But is it difficult to kind of receive direction remotely?
Well, what you do is, a lot of times, for our agents, they have booth directors, so you can go in to their studio and do it. But if you have your own setup, you send it in and they'll listen to it, and if they have any changes, they'll give you the notes, and then you just do another pass. I always ask for that. I'm always like, hey, if you need another pass, if you didn't like it, tell me, and they'll tell me, and they'll give me extensive notes, and I'll go through and change it, even if it's a 1-minute audition. Like, sometimes it'll be like really, really minute, fine details, you know. So it's I like getting notes so I can try to be the best I can be.
Yeah, and since you're going to be directing, or did you already direct?
Oh, we're already in it.
Oh, man,
we're on episode 6. Yeah, so we're 6 of 16. So we're making our way through it. It's been quite a ride. But everyone is, again, like I said, everyone's so good. Like, Crispin's rocking it as Keon. He's really, really good in the show. So yeah.
So then, like, having done this for so long, like, I imagine that directing just kind of comes second nature.
Well, if it's any good, I hope it's good. But directing anime, and I've directed film and theater and stuff, so pulling from those, I'm able to have kind of a roux for my directing gumbo. But also, when you're working with these great guys, they know what they're doing. So really, it's about, how do you talk with these actors in a way where you guys are in sync about the show and you're not stepping on each other's toes, is what I try to do. And hopefully guide them to the right spot. They're doing great, so they're doing their thing. So hopefully I'm doing mine for them. So.
Well, it sounds like you have a really good team to work with.
Oh, great team. These guys are great. And I hope that everyone's going to be really excited I talked to the director of the previous seasons, who I'm actually going to be working with, and he's liking it. He's liking it, so that's a good sign.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I want to go back a little bit for another nostalgic show for me personally. There's a new Dragon Ball Z movie that is going to be released in August, I believe.
That's
it
right.
is.
Yeah.
And I believe you're reprising your role as, I think it's Jocko, or is it Jacob?
Yeah, I was Jocko in Xenoverse, the game. And then, the movie is going to be a lot of fun. He's a crazy character, and I'm happy to join the new DBZ universe, because it was Android 19 and then Tarble. But to join the new universe as this character, he's crazy. He kind of
has an out there personality.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the cosplay of it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, he was great, and get to see, again, it's another case where you're seeing all these pros do their thing, and Sean and Goku, and Sabat with 20 different characters and all that stuff. So it was fun to work on, for sure.
Yeah, and they actually had the premiere for it here in Los Angeles just a couple months ago.
Yeah, the Japanese premiere. I was going to go to that, and they asked me to go. They wanted me to actually do. Funimation was like, can you be there, but then also interview everyone, so everybody's pals and stuff. And I couldn't go. I was leaving for Australia to do Supernova. And so we're going to do another premiere. Actually, the English dub premiere is coming up, and it'll be here, and I'll be there for that.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. I was actually at the Japanese premiere, so I'll keep my fingers crossed to do red carpet then.
Absolutely. Please. That would be great.
No, it's a lot of fun. And is there a release date? Because I know it's going to be in August, but off the top of my head, I don't know.
I don't know it off the top of my head. They don't, I'm just the voiceover janitor. I'm the last one to know stuff.
Like, are you still here? Get out.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, fantastic. Well, I know that you've got a ton of other stuff coming up. What has been the most exciting thing that you can talk about so far?
Exciting thing I can talk about. Golly. Well, I mean, collectively, this Nagato Yuki-chan show that's being broadcast while we're doing it here is a lot of fun. It takes up. I mean, that's where it's at right now for the next handful of weeks until we get this show done. I mean, it's such a known show and it's got such a great cast. That's a really big deal to be a part of, and I'm really fortunate and I feel very lucky to hang with those guys. Outside of that, man, there's so many things and we're not allowed to talk about any of them. I guess the new DBZ movie, Crystal. Golly, we're still getting great reviews on Kill la Kill and everything. I can't think of.
That's still airing on Toonami, if I'm not mistaken, right?
There's just so much stuff out there right now. I can't. They're all great. It's all good. Yeah. Okay. So I can't talk about that. There's 1, 2, 3, like 3 different games that are coming that I really wish I could mention.
I was going to say, if they're on IMDb, you can go ahead and tell us.
But I don't know if I'm on there with them, so yeah.
Well, I did want to ask, there were a couple things listed on IMDb that haven't come out yet, and again, if you can't talk about them, don't worry, but you're playing an overlord in Far Off, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, Far Off. Yes. I did sorry. We do so many.
I know. You do things for a couple hours, months and months ago.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's with Sean Cruiser and Burning Shades Productions. Yes. That was a movie where I had to have these gigantic contact lenses in. They're like the size of a quarter, covering your whole eye. I don't wear contacts. They're like, okay, so here you go. We're going to be wearing it. It's so funny. They're great guys, really great guys. They're like, yeah, you're going to be wearing these contacts for 15 minutes at a time, and we'll take them out. And I think he meant 7 hours. That's I think what he meant.
15 minutes, 7 hours.
It's easy to get them confused. I mean, when you've got the numbers, they're all there at once. It's easy to get them jumbled. But he had to put them in because I had to hold my eye open because I don't wear contacts, and so to slide those bad boys, because you have to slide it under the eyelid, up, push it up, then pull your this whole Terminator type thing. It hurt, and I'm crying, not I'm crying because they're just in my eyes. And so he goes, "What do you need right now? What do you need?" And I'm like, "I just need 5 minutes because I'm about to freak out. Just let me freak out a little bit," because they're covering your whole eye, and it feels like someone's going, "I'm touching your eye." It's
just constantly
over the whole thing.
Oh Lord!
And so I'm like, I just went into a dark room, and he's like, "How are you?" I go, just please let me do this. Just leave me alone, just for a little bit. And then I came out and it was fine. But man, those first 15 minutes, I was ready to snap some brain stems. But that should be coming shortly. Those guys are great. It's really impressive to see them constantly, shooting the next thing and making it happen with whatever resources they have. They're shooting on a beautiful red camera, and not a camera that is the color red, but the red.
Yeah,
camera,
no, that's high quality cameras for those who don't understand.
Yeah. But yeah, they're great. I can't wait till the next one.
All right. Yeah. So it's a web series then?
No, it's a movie. I mean, these guys have. I think it's already got distribution and everything too. I mean, they're rolling along, and it was a really crazy. The past couple times they've always had me as the weird bad guy, and I think I told Sean, I was like, hey man, I could play other roles. I mean, I don't have to be the bad guy the whole. So we'll see what happens. But I think it was because they just go, black hair, bad guy. So
must be evil.
Yeah. But this doesn't help. But
I was gonna say it is a little like a Negaverse Spock or whatever.
Yeah. I'm just channeling my mirror Spock right now.
That's it.
Yeah.
Negaverse is Sailor Moon. Yeah. Not anymore though. Yeah. Long story there. But actually, since you mentioned being a bad guy, I want to know, what do you think is the most over-the-top villain that you've ever played? Because you've played a couple bad guys.
Sword Art.
Oh, I hate that guy so much.
I got so many tweets about I'm like, guys, I didn't write it. I didn't create him. I'm just playing. But he was really... And while we're recording the show, I was like, man, I hope he dies in a really, really evil, nasty way. And he did.
Yeah.
He got his in a big way, so I was satisfied.
No, we were doing the after show for it here, and every week he just made our skin crawl.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, we need you guys to understand, we're not knocking the acting because the acting is spot on. We just hate him so much.
Yeah. Actually, they were. Speaking of tweets, they were. I got so many that they're like, "I'm coming for your grandma." Like, no, leave my grandma
Don't
alone.
do that. Yeah. No, guys, blame Reki Kawahara if you're going to blame anybody.
Yeah, blame him. Yeah. Alex, here we go. Alex Von David, the director of Sword Art. At Alex Von David, he goes, Todd, this is Alex. Do you ever sleep? 2016 is going to be a big year for sleeping. It's going to be great. Lots of special effects. Someone asked at the heck Harry, what does kebabbery mean?
Kebabbery?
Kebabbery. There was a kebab restaurant, and they called themselves the kebabbery.
I don't know. But I did see a restaurant the other day that said pizza kebab, and I wondered if that was exactly what it sounded like.
Oh, I want one.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually a thing. I think they serve pizza and kebabs, but I was really hoping that it was as advertised.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one right here at Brennan and Tacos. Hey, Todd, what was it like being in Fairy Tale, a show with comedy, to Future Diary, a show with a lot of murder?
Ooh.
Delicious. That's all I'll say about that. And my character in Future Diary is had a great fashion sense. At the heck Harry, when will you and Vic sing more duets? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love Vic Mignogna? Let's see, what's going on with Fairy Tale? Oh, someone's asking, this is at Paloma. What's going on with Fairy Tale? Waiting for new dubbed episodes is killing me. Have you heard anything? I just recorded for more Fairy Tale, and they just announced more is coming. So we're doing everything that Japan's releasing.
Fantastic.
What does this mean? You tell me what this means. Fingers for toes or toes for fingers?
That means would you rather... That's one of those would you rather questions, I think.
Can I go...
Skip.
Skip, okay. Let's
Pass.
see. Are you going to come to San Japan? I wish. I don't know. Won't be able to catch you this year. What's your favorite part about playing Natsu? Yelling.
Lots of shonen yelling.
Lots of yelling. I lose my... I was doing a session last night that was a ton of yelling for a video game. And, oh man, my voice was shot. I woke up and was
there are tons and tons of really infamous people passing out in the booth stories, so I hope that's not a concern.
Have I ever passed out in the booth? No, I've not passed out in the booth, but I've taken a nap in the booth. When I was doing Sergeant Frog, we would record that show 12 hours a day. 12.
That is really long time to be in a square, tiny box.
Oh, my man Shane here, at Shane Scalp. Scalp with an H. May you tell us a funny mom story? I was kind of creepy. A funny mom story.
I mean, you technically already did.
Yeah. I don't know, my mom's not that funny. My mom's kind of, she's, but that's not her thing. She's sweet. She's just, she's a mom. Moms are, they're not, that's not their, thing, being, funny.
When they're not scaring the dickens out of you.
Yeah. My moms are scary. Yeah, that's just it. No, she's great. I love my mom. I love you, Mom. Let's see. Did you find... Blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, there's a lot of questions here, Megan.
Since there are a lot of convention questions, I've got one. Obviously, you hit up a ton of conventions. That's part of one of the reasons why you're so busy. I was wondering, is there a particular... do you have a favorite convention memory? I know it's that after a convention, the entire time is like a blur. But if you have a favorite, would you like to share?
Favorite convention memory? Well, I tell you what, there are a lot of great cons out there. One of my favorite memories was
Did it involve food? Flavor?
Did it? I'll tell you this. Australia. I was at Supernova recently, and they took us to a wildlife sanctuary where we got to hold a koala, and they're heavy.
That is so cool.
Koalas are heavy. And then feeding kangaroos and petting them and hanging out with kangaroos and stuff. And it was kind of weird because they can't read English, but they all just kind of knew there was a sign that says kangaroo rest area. So it's a big place where the kangaroos all hang out, and when they're tired of getting pet and fed, they hop over to this little area
to the rest area
on the other side of this sign, and that's just their hangout spot. And they know where that spot is, all of them. Now, some of the people that we were there were trying to get up into that space, but they that was a lot of fun. And also there the beaches were really amazing. Like Gold Coast, just being like right on the beach, and like the water was beautiful and the sand was amazing and soft. Really, that was like a really great time. Yeah.
It sounds gorgeous.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go. We actually have a couple questions here from the live chat. Sakura Dreamers wants to know, to Todd, hello again. Speaking of Jedi, do you usually like voicing heroes or villains?
Heroes or villains? I do a fair amount of both, so it's like I like them both. As far as a preference, I mean, I think I like the hero because he lives longer.
Usually, yeah. Usually those end up.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have cooler powers, I think. Bad guys have, like, cool powers, but then they die quickly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have as long. That's kind of a bummer, actually.
So heroes.
That's a good answer.
For sure.
And you obviously also have a really good relationship with your fan base. I was wondering if there was also like kind of your favorite fan moment, because I know that people just are generally really, really great with fan art and, like you said, fan fiction and all that great stuff. Do you have a favorite?
Man, the fans, I mean, they're incredible. I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, there's stories of being in a restaurant and the waiter brings up a bottle of wine and they say, here we go, compliments of someone that didn't even eat at the restaurant. They were just walking past and saw that I was eating there, and they sent stuff over. Like people that take time to make these beautiful pieces of art for me and frame it. And I'm like, how long did this take you? And they're like, it took me 30 days. 30 days every day working. I mean, I work hard on it, and I get all the time people in college writing reports on me or asking me, can I write this report on you? Can I do like all that kind of stuff? I mean, it's really incredible. People, when we had Haberkorn last year, people traveled 17 hours just to come say hi. I mean, the fans are amazing. They're really, they really love this art form, and they love us as participants in it. And you forget sometimes that how touched they are by some of the things that we get to do. You know, I've had parents and kids come up to me and say, like, man, I was going down this path in life, and it wasn't so hot for me, and it put me in the hospital for a while. And to come back from that was, I was watching this show that you, Oron High School Host Club, and they love that show. It really has a profound effect on people, and it's I envy that, because I don't know if there is any form of entertainment that does that for me. And I'm envious of that. It's my job that does that for me. But for something like a show or I guess the closest thing would be like Batman. That's like the closest thing for me is, as I love Batman. But past that, I mean, I can't think of anything. But it's really awesome to see their love for everything that we do. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, favorite Batman villain then?
Oh, favorite Batman villain? Oh my gosh. Well, everyone's gonna go Joker, so I'm gonna go variation. You can't just blanket statement Joker.
Okay, Batman animated series villain.
Oh, animated series. Clayface is pretty good.
He was so tragic. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Clayface is good. Man, animated series Batman. Now see, there's also because you've got animated series, then you have the new Superman Batman Adventures.
That's true. And there are a lot of new stuff coming out, too.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, a Clayface was a lot of fun, because everyone, or Mr. Freeze.
Well, you're also a big comics guy. What do you think of Dawn of Justice right now?
Oh, so here's my deal.
There are a lot of feelings on the internet right now.
So here's the deal with that. I mean, I feel like everyone thinks that these comic book movies have to be dark and I think that's just the era where these comic book movies are at. They're just in a dark place. But you can't... The thing that made Batman and Superman such an interesting dynamic, their relationship, was the fact that Superman was this unwavering pillar of light, of positivity. And Batman was the polar opposite. They both wanted the same things, but they did it in very, very different ways. Batman super dark, Superman hopeful, full of hope. And what it appears to be right now is that they're in the same plane of existence, and that's not interesting. They're not foils of each other. They're just two guys duking it out. And I think that what's happening is that Zack Snyder thinks that we want to see Batman and Superman just go at it, and we do. But that's like saying, tell me your top 3 favorite foods. So,
Ooh, pizza.
yeah.
Let's see. Pierogies are really good. Really anything mashed potatoes based.
And what about your favorite dessert?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. What about your favorite drink?
Coffee, for sure. 100%.
Now take all those favorite things. Now put them in one bowl. Mix them up. Would you eat that?
Probably not, no.
But they're all your favorite things. See, that's what I think he's doing. I think he hears all of our favorite things. He goes, well, I'm going to put them all on this plate right here in this bowl and mix them up. That's not how we want it. So Batman and Superman are going to fight, and I feel like it's just going to be a movie that's just set up to have them fight and just be a big commercial for Justice League. And I hope that's not the case, because these guys have such a legacy that you can't disrespect that legacy by just saying, well, they're just gonna duke it out and have 10 rounds in Gotham or Metropolis. There's more to it than that. And that's what makes them endure, is because there's more to it than that. And so I hope we find that. Zack Snyder's not really known for that, So
we'll see. I'm deferring judgment until we get more trailers and stuff like that.
Me too.
It's hard to stay optimistic though when it's so dark.
And you're seeing 2 minutes of a almost 3-hour movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, we're kind of getting the wrap-up sign here. Is there anything else you can talk about that you'd like to let fans know is coming down the way?
Well, I love having folks say hello on Twitter. So at Todd Haberkorn on Twitter, and then that's a lot of fun. Come out to the conventions. There's lots of con appearances coming up. I'll be at Anime Next this weekend. Next weekend is Bayou City Con. The book, I have a book coming in August. Be on the lookout for that, and also more Star Trek Continues coming up.
Fantastic. I'm going to sneak in one more question.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the recording for Attack on Titan was done at your studio. Any word yet on any sort of updates with that?
Well, some of Titan was there. I don't know. I know it's coming. And apparently, because I was one of the few that survived from season 1.
Marlo, yeah.
Yeah, Marlo's going to be...
He lived.
Yeah,
That's a
he's going to have
success.
more in season 2 that's going to be more pivotal, I hear. So we'll see. I can't wait to see the live action.
Yeah, no, they just released new pictures earlier today, actually.
Okay, good. August, right? That's when it comes out.
August or September. I think it's September.
So I think people need to get the Haber book and then go to the movie and then write down their favorite Attack on Titan memory in the book and then come to a convention I'm at and then tell me about it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And where can fans go if they want to go online to find out more about you and about all of your upcoming projects?
Oh, gosh. Google. There's Google is pretty good about it. They're on it. They're going somewhere. I think Google's going to be around for a while, that little mom and pop company. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just this tiny little startup.
Yeah, they're starting out. I see them every now and then.
Gain some traction a little bit.
I donate when I can.
Actually, we'll do one more fan question just because they tweeted at me directly.
How about you do one and then I'll look for one?
Sounds good. And then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
What is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal?
From Michelle_Cullen.
Michelle, my spirit animal... What's your tiger? Tiger.
Line.
Yeah, a tiger. My spirit animal is a fierce tiger who is painted what color? Orange?
They're usually orange and black, but sometimes they can be white and black too.
How about white and black? A white and black.
Awesome.
Tiger, yeah. Let's see.
Okay, now guys, final question from the Twitter sphere.
Let's see. How many? Oh man, there's so many. I just want to pick a good one. As if you were any kid. I don't want to read them out loud. Do you ship them? I can't answer that one. Let's see. Hey. Okay, I'll pick this one right here. Okay. This one says, "Hey Todd, this is at DJ Dreams MC. Hey Todd, if you were any character, who would you be? But with a twist, you have to get the same hairstyle and behave the same way." Man, Wolverine's cool.
That's true, and he does have a really cool hairstyle.
Wolverine. I do Wolverine or Spider-Man.
I mean, that's fairly. Peter's hair is fairly normal.
Yeah, Peter's fine. Yeah, that. But not. I wouldn't tell everybody my identity. That's
No,
silly.
he does that a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, everybody's got to know who he is. Stop that.
Yeah, cut it out.
It would totally change the design of the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting if they have him in Civil War, if they do a cameo at all.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they're finding a new Spider-Man now, and I don't think it was Andrew Garfield's fault.
No, it just seems to be a lot of studio stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Todd, thank you so much for coming down today.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad we finally got to talk to you.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for your patience, and it was a blast, and I love coming, and I hope we get to do it again.
Yes, feel free to come back anytime. As we mentioned, we've done a couple after shows for shows that you're on.
Okay, right
so anytime
on.
you want to come back, just come on down to the studio.
Sure, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for your tweets and the tiger call out. That was good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much to everybody on the live chat, everybody on the hashtag, everybody who tweeted Todd directly. You guys rock. And I'm Ben, your host, Megan. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheMenguin. That's TheMenguin. Also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I've started writing articles for the Movie Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. And be sure to check out the latest Movie Chick review on Popcorn Talk, actually, that aired on Monday. Again, thank you so much, Todd, for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All
We
right,
really
awesome.
appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.